What up, what up? This is 85 Yards, the sports podcast by average fans for average fans, aiming to bring the sports conversation from the bar to your speakers. So why don't you raise a glass, sit back, relax, and let's get started.
Cheers, good sir.
How's it going, brother?
It's good, man. How are you doing?
Man, this has been the most 2020 week of all of the weeks for me. So I need a few of these today.
What do you got there?
Sure. So I'm drinking a Modelo. I got so much shit last week for hating on Michelob Ultra. All weekend, I was hanging out by the pool. You know, everybody's got their beer that they had brought over. And anytime somebody would say, hey, Chayton, you need a beer? You need to freshen something up? I would get the stink eye from everybody saying, I ain't giving you shit. Hating on Mick Ultra. So
it's not unwarranted.
Well, I mean, I think people just any chance they can give me
at the same time,
shit,
though, too. Yeah. Like, did you want to drink Michelob anyways? Let's be honest.
Hell no. I told you I wouldn't. I don't want it even if it's free. Now, if it's the only thing there, I mean, I'll drink it. But, you know, like I said, it happened to me in my fridge last week. So I'm going with Modelo, nice Mexican cerveza. I actually heard that, like, a lot of people that, like, go down there, you know, because it's basically like their Bud Light whenever they'll go to Cancun or whatnot. It's actually Modelo. It's basically like they explained. I don't know if that's correct. I heard that. So a couple different people. I don't know if it's right.
Are they from Barbersville?
They might be. They might be. And, they might be. They might be just some dumbasses. So what are you drinking, man?
I've got me some good old fashioned number 7 Jack Daniels.
Oh, the classic.
More because it's like the last bit of alcohol in this house right now. So we
really, you always keep it stocked.
Well, Haley and I are kind of we're gonna do a little 5-day detox kind of situation here.
Ooh.
So we it actually gave me an excuse the other night. There were some like White Claws still in the fridge, and you know I'd finished off the vodka, and Haley went to bed, and I was just like, you know what? We're starting this tomorrow, so I'm just gonna drink all these. so I just hung out by myself and drank a couple White Claws just to eliminate alcohol from the house, minus the Jack Daniels bottle for tonight.
You do the same thing that I do before I start like a diet. It's like I'll cleanse and be like, well, I mean, I'll just order pizza and Wendy's and, you know, go all out. Cause like, oh yeah, it starts tomorrow. So
this is my last night of freedom. So, you know, you just got to go ham, eat all of it, drink all of it.
Right.
It's not like it's going to
harden the pain anyway.
It's not going to make a difference tomorrow. Come on. Might as well.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So we got some stuff to get into today. Super, super excited. You know, obviously NBA playoffs hot and heavy right now. You know, really steeped in everything. We'll kind of get into that and start a little bit, you know, looking at that, you know, we'll kind of talk a little bit about game 6. Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal. So Rockets blow out Thunder game 5 by 35 points. And then what a performance by Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Coming down the stretch. Step back 3, man. Tied up.
This is redemption. This is payback.
Really is.
This is payback to James Harden and the entire Houston organization for how they handled that entire situation with him. And like, I mean, he's still a really good player. I think that gets overlooked, you know, like it's not like he's on his last legs, you know, like, I mean, he is, but his last legs are still really fucking good. So he can still ball, and you got to expect that every now and then at least, right?
I'll be honest. I mean, when I think of Chris Paul, I think he's like 45, like just because he's been in the league for so long. But yeah, man, I mean, he's still really good. This, like you said, this series has gotten really chippy and it's gotten really personal because, like, you know, I mean, like Harden, I don't know if you saw that, like Harden and Westbrook were like hardcore talking shit to Steven Adams. Like Chris Paul, obviously, like, I mean, there's a lot of bad blood in history, and like, more and more the series is going, like it's just getting more and more intense.
I mean that too. Like I didn't even really think about Westbrook in that fact either. But like I think less of a degree because he's got. I mean their team's just better. You know, like he's not the guy to have to kind of like take over and do that kind of shit. But Yeah, I mean, Westbrook's got to be feeling some type of way. I mean, that's why he's trying to take over late game, even though he probably should never be the late game guy, to be honest.
Yeah, he doesn't really have that kind of game, he, as far as, and it's mainly because, I mean, it's really hard for him to consistently shoot from the outside. He can explode throughout the game, but whenever, I mean, we saw that. I mean, the final score in the Denver and Utah game was 80-78 last night. It's about who can get a bucket. And when they crowd the lane, whenever they're like, all right, we're going to make you shoot from the outside, that's not Westbrook's
Yeah, well,
game
he's the speed guy. He's just going to run straight through to the baseline because he's faster than everybody. And like, if anybody's there, he's just, it's like he overcompensates and all of a sudden he's just like going off the rails, spinning, like hitting the ground, flailing his arms out. Like, it's just so ridiculous to watch him kind of in those situations. And yeah, if he's got to pull up late, like, I don't trust it. I mean, if he's on, he's on.
Not at
but
all,
like,
at all.
I don't anticipate he's going to be on too much. And especially like, James Harden had 32 last night? Or not last night,
yes.
2 nights ago. Like, he's got the hot hand. And give him the ball. Like, you should not be the one taking that shot when he's the shooter.
Right. Yeah, he definitely needs to. And whenever, like, especially in the late game, that's what's going to be interesting to see as this gets deeper and deeper, is that they're both very ball dominant players. Right. And I'm going to be really interested to see who's going to be handling it. Because right now, I mean, coming back, I mean, Westbrook's only played, this is his, that was his second game in game 6 back from the injury. So, he can kind of ease into it. But you telling me if they're both healthy, like, who's going to be handling the ball? I would think it's Harden. That's probably the best way to go about it. But I mean, Westbrook needs the ball in his hands.
Well, I mean, that's why him and Kevin Durant didn't work. Like, I don't know. Like, Chris Paul made more sense to me in Houston just because of he is more of an assist guy than he is a just natural scorer. But I don't know. Like, I think they'll pull it out. I don't think they're going to lose tonight just because I think they've got too much firepower to lose. And plus, I think, like, I mean, the Thunder have to rely on like everybody on that team having a good game to beat the Rockets.
They've got a lot. Other than Chris Paul, they have the most B to B plus guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Obviously they've got
Gallinari.
Steven Adams, Gallinari. Dude, Schroeder. Schroeder off the bench. Like, they're just a bunch of squad, bunch of guys that are going to give you 10 to 15. But like, and is Chris Paul still that guy? Now, for a series, I think he can be. It's going to be really interesting. And just kind of back to the Rockets, last thing on them for me is, it worked during the regular season. The Rockets, they played really well. I'm bullish. If they're hitting, it comes down to a numbers game. They're taking 50 to 60 threes a game. Yeah. It just comes down to, like, if they hit 35 to 40%, it's almost like a game of attrition. Like, if they hit 40%, you're losing because there's nothing else you can do. But if they're not hitting, and that's why this series has came down, obviously it's 3-3. If you look at the games that they've won, they've shot over 40% from three. If you look at the games that they've lost, they've shot under 35. Man, it's the easiest thing to
and
look.
They've blown out. Like,
it's a numbers game.
Blow out the other team when you win for Houston, and the Thunder are winning all the close games. I think this is ultimately going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, which is kind of like a toss-up when you look at it, just because I think the Thunder are better as a team than Houston is for that reason. But I just think, they're not going to have the production that they need from those B plus players. Like Steven Adams, he's not going to put up a ton of points, but you might need him to. Like, he'll get you 15 rebounds a game, but so it depends. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the bench does, what maybe Schroeder can come in and do off the bench. I think Houston wins the game, and then we get the matchup where, so all of this to say that, you said that the Lakers had no chance at beating the Rockets, but now you're just shitting on the Rockets against the Thunder of all teams. So
the Thunder are a very, very difficult matchup for them. And that's why I think it's gone 7. Look, if the Lakers, Houston is a better version of Portland in that, as far as shooting from the outside. And that's where it is. Like, it really is kind of like, if if Houston's hitting 40% of threes, nobody's beating them. Like nobody's going to. And that's what it comes down to for me is that like, well, if they're hot shooting, like it's kind of an easy pick because it's like, well, if they're hitting, they can beat anybody. But I'm going to be, the more and more I watch of the series, it's, I'm getting more and more skeptical of.
At the same time, the Lakers weren't hitting shots at all. Like they were very poor
in the first
few games.
In the first couple of games
of that series. Yeah. So like, I think we're more likely to see the second half Lakers from the Portland series than we were to see the first half. And even if Houston is shooting lights out, they're not going to shoot lights out every night. 2, you say the Thunder are a bad matchup. You know who's a really bad matchup?
Who?
LeBron James, Anthony Davis.
And we may not even
Kyle Kuzma.
We may not even get the chance to see that. Kuzma. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You could. Danny Green.
Oh, Danny Green is the hardest of all of them.
Yeah, and to speak to that a little bit, like so we've got that Game 7 tonight, dude. Game 7, Denver, Utah last night, the highest scoring series in NBA history, and the final in Game 7 is 80-78. Don't know if you watched it. It reminded me so much of like a 3-on-3 outdoor basketball tournament. It was nothing but half court. There were, I think combined when I was looking at the box score, there were 10 fast break points.
It's like 90s.
10.
It's like 90s basketball.
Very, very old school basketball. And it comes down to, do you got a bucket getter? Do you got somebody, it's easy.
Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets. You got a bucket getter. You got somebody that's just, I'm going to hit this hard ass too. It's not a wide open 3. It's not going to be, this pick and roll pop drive because the defense was at such a high level. For Game 7, it's amazing watching these NBA players actually play defense. It's hard, very hard to score when they do that. So that was definitely what happened. I mean, Denver's up 14 at half. Utah cuts it to 5 going to the fourth. Utah scores 9 straight in the fourth. It's back and forth. And then just watching the ending of that game, Jokic really was the difference in that. I mean, my man over here, had 30 and 14. 12 of 23 from the field. I mean, really, he was the reason that they ended up pulling it out. Murray played terrible. Mitchell played good in the second half, but, I'll be honest, the winner of that series, they're walking into a buzzsaw with the Clippers. That was a tough, difficult, grueling series. And they get, congrats, your consolation prize is the Clippers tomorrow night.
We've just been hanging out for a week by the time that game's
chilling.
Like,
yeah, chilling. Like, just over here, hurting players, beating up Luka. Like, now they're able to just sit back and chill.
Oh, shit, what was I going to say? You made me forget with that last comment.
I don't know, man. I'm good at that.
Oh,
I'm good at that.
There was a post-game interview, and I forget who it was. It might have been Donovan Mitchell. But I saw it, and I think it was on like Dan Patrick's show or one of those late night, sports talk radio shows that kind of air where they like Scott Van Pelt, like something like that. And he mentioned are you excited you get to turn around and play again on Thursday? And dude's face was just like, oh man, shit. Gonna play on Thursday?
That's the sentiment, man. They get one day, and like after as hard of a dude, that was one of the most difficult games. Watching that, I mean, every possession there was a hand in everybody's face. Everybody's trying to crash. There's 10 people in the paint trying to get rebounds.
Bro.
It really did show that intensity. So, speaking of intensity, things are starting to heat up in the Big Ten, dude.
Oh, I see. Oh, no, wait.
What is going on in the world when the...
You skipped a whole topic.
What do you mean I skipped? What I skip?
We had a whole... We had a whole schedule written out. Heat Bucks.
Oh, my gosh.
Heat
Enlighten
Bucks.
me. Oh, the Heat and the Bucks. Hey, which that game's actually going on right now. And I was going to say, we're going on Washington. I keep hearing Cole react in the background. Like as we're watching that, I keep hearing, oh shit. Oh yeah, that's what we do. Like that's what I'm
Who's he rooting for? Is he rooting for the Heat?
Giannis. There's no foul?
Is he rooting for the Heat or the Bucks?
Oh no, we No, Bucks. Yeah, dude. Bucks might be in trouble. It's 22-16 right now, Heat.
I've got the game cast up.
I mean, they're playing tough. You got the game cast up? Yeah, I got it on the TV. That's what I'm trying to watch right now. Giannis down the lane. Oh, my God.
But, like, don't judge this first quarter, though, man. It's a 4-quarter game. It's a 4-quarter game, bro.
It is, but
you look at the last game, you look at game one, man, the fucking Bucks put up 40 in the first quarter. And then they put up
that's true.
60, 63 or whatever it was for the rest of the game. 64
for the rest of the game.
64 for the rest of the game. Like they
clamped down on them. They definitely did.
Destroyed in the second and third quarters. Because I mean they were still up at half.
Right. I mean, do you hear the background? I'm trying to stay locked in. I just hear, ooh. Yeah. Oh, get up there. Oh, what a swat. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, like they come out on fire, scorching, and then just Jimmy Butler played unreal. The Miami is like a better version of the Thunder. Like they've got just 10 guys, and that I would say they're probably better. They've got better outside shooting for sure, but they got just 10 guys, and
which is
no real superstars, but they're all B.
You know what's surprising to me is like I feel like last year, maybe the year before, I felt very strongly that the Heat were just like blowing up the team.
Oh yeah,
like
going into reboot mode.
Yeah, like with some of the moves that they made, and just like kind of, I don't know. It felt like they were keeping, a decent team around, but not anything that's going to like, go deep in the playoffs or like make the playoffs. Maybe they might be kind of like that 9-10 seed on an average year, but. It seemed like that's what they were doing, and then now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, this actually like worked. Like
they got
a
lucky.
Team.
They did. They got, well, I don't want to say they got lucky. They drafted really well. So they take Bam Adebayo. They take Tyler Hero. They find Duncan Robinson in the second round, which was unreal. I mean, dude comes in and is like one of the best, most efficient 3-point shooters. They've had Goran Dragic. They get Jimmy Butler, who just stole it, took it coast to coast, and just threw it down on Giannis.
He doesn't have anybody to fight in practice now. So, I mean.
Right. It's funny. Jimmy Butler's had problems everywhere he went until he actually got with a team that was good. I don't think it was. I think Jimmy was just rubbing people the wrong way because he's kind of like, I want to win. If you guys aren't going hard, I don't give a shit.
That Kobe mentality. He doesn't
totally
give a fuck what you think of him. He doesn't care. If you think he's the biggest asshole on planet Earth, he wants to win, and that's what he's there for. And if you're not there for that, and if you're not into that kind of mentality, then you can get fucked. To be frank.
Yeah, you can get on. And I think that's why he didn't. I mean, think about it. He was with Philadelphia, who's not really had a history of winning. When he was with Derrick Rose and the Bulls and they were in the playoffs, you never heard anything bad about it. So, I mean, whenever you've got a team that's actually good and everybody's like buying in and stuff, but he was problems with the Timberwolves because you have a bunch of guys like, I'm sorry, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, extremely talented, though they'll never win anything. I mean, it's very soft. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's just why I didn't work out for him. Bucks Heat series prediction. 26-23 Heat in the first quarter
Bucks.
Right now. They're up 1-0. You're taking the Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks in 6.
I'm going to say Bucks. It's going 7. We're getting a lot of game 7s, I think. I think we're going to get a lot of game 7s this year.
We said it last week, like, and actually one of the things that I thought was kind of funny, did you know that in the Rockets Thunder series, the quote unquote home team has won every game? Right. It's just like the thought process of we're the home team, you're the away team, like still is some sort of like of benefit to these teams, but in reality it doesn't matter at all. But I was like,
at the hotel room, at the hotel rooms, they just put like a mint on their pillow if you're the home team, like they do. Like
they've got it's like Iowa. They've got one locker room that's painted pink for the guests, for the away team, and then the home locker room is like studded out, and so they just alternate. It's like the away team gets the shitty locker rooms or the non-masculine locker rooms to like help like just get psychologically in their heads or something before the game. I don't know, but. Orlando,
I could see that.
I could see Orlando, like doing some crazy shit like that. They got to do something to try and win games. So I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, you got to you've got to pull out all the stops and try to do whatever you can to get it up. Damn. Heater pouring it on. Okay. So, Big Ten. Who would have thought the most 2020 thing I've ever seen is the president is getting involved in college football? This is nuts. What's going on? For those who aren't familiar, which I don't think that's anybody at this point.
Right.
Donald Trump having a meeting on Monday with Kevin Warren, calling him, tweeting out, quote unquote, we're on the 1 yard line of getting football for the Big Ten.
I saw a response to that from Tony Girdman of BuckeyesCoop.com on Twitter, and he said, which 1 yard line though? Because that's a big
very
difference.
Important distinction.
It's a very important distinction. You got to go 99 yards, or you got to go 1 yard. What
you got to punch it in?
You can be either way. Either way,
right? What are your thoughts on it? Just as over everything. I know we've got some very interesting takes on this.
I mean, we talked a little bit, and you know, one thing I don't want to do too much of is I don't want to politicize a lot of our show, you know, as much as
hard to right now.
I think everything becomes politicized. Actually, so today I was on the phone with my dad, and we were talking a little bit about this, and I kind of brought that up because I was like, you know, the Kevin Warren, if this was a political move by Kevin Warren canceling the season, he missed a golden opportunity, and Joe Biden missed a golden opportunity to get on the phone together and, you know, walk this back amid the backlash to bring back a season and make, you know, Joe Biden look like the hero that we deserve, you know, like he's fucking Batman.
Right.
But they didn't, obviously.
Right.
And instead, Donald Trump is the one to get on that. And I was like, you know, so there is kind of this, you know, if it was a political decision, then they fucked up. If that's what they wanted, if they wanted to do this to try and like push the ideology to get Trump out of office because he was the reason, you know, that quote unquote they had to cancel the season. And my dad reminded me of originally what I believe, and I think most people believe this was really about, which is liability, and which is money long term. And it's not, it has less to do, I think, with realistically we made this decision to sway voters. What happened?
Layup at the end of the quarter. Oh. Sorry, 38-29 Heat to end the first.
All right. I mean, I've got it here, but mine's slow to update. So yours is faster than what I've got over here. But right. It's about liability more so than it is about using this as a way to sway voters' opinions. Because let's be honest, if you don't like Trump, you still don't like Trump. Like, right? I don't like Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump because if he does impact the decision to bring college football back, I'm not voting for him because he brought football back. Like, short of him doing something to make me like dislike him less, then maybe I would. But the football thing is not. Aside from that, there's a lot of other things that I think people take into consideration from a political standpoint when they choose that person. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Warren didn't want that to be the case.
Right.
But
right, because we have similar feelings on that with Kevin, Kevin Warren on that. Here's the thing, and I totally understand it. I said the same thing. What a missed opportunity for the Democrats and Biden to try to come in and attempt to be the savior and to come through with this. And Trump, like you said, I totally agree. I think there's a big segment of the population, that feels the way you do. Like, even if he brings college football back, like, I love Ohio State, but that's not going to affect it. I do think there are some people that are absolutely on the fence that if their team's playing this fall, it's going to affect. And how interesting it is that we had talked about this just geographically. The swing states, Big Ten states are typically the swing states that decide the election. I love how we're not even talking about the Pac-12 at all.
And that's how it just They just started like their first the parents association to try and like turn this decision around and shit. Like they don't.
And the West Coast is
but
staunchly different politically.
I mean,
too.
all the entire coasts are politically different.
Very much so. Right.
I'm just excited because Ohio State, as breaking news earlier on the one and only BuckeyeScoop.com, the Nevada Buck nugget, if you will, was that Ohio State practiced yesterday. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not know that. Nevada Buck nugget. I like that.
What's Nevada Buck is his name, and he releases nuggets.
I was gonna say Nevada Buck nugget. That sounds like a high end dish that you would serve at like a steakhouse in Ohio.
Chayton, I'm gonna put you on fucking blast right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, what is this?
Okay. You would know all of this.
Throw me off guard.
Okay? You would know all of this. What I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you actually logged into the account that was created for you.
Ryan, what would the Joker say in the Dark Knight? Whenever he was just like, I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught one. You know, I just do things. Thank you, by the way. And so having said that, yeah, I need to get on that. I need to be more.
Yeah, because it was created for you.
In there, Ryan, I rely. This is what I rely on you for, brother, to keep me in the loop, my friend.
Blast. Putting you on blast, goddammit.
What do you want me to say, man? What do you want me to say? I need to be better. I need to be a better person. All right. Yes. I will. From here on out. Oh, shit.
Absolutely.
Dude.
You need to be a much better person, Chayton.
Much better, just in all aspects. Miami is taking it to the Bucks. Holy shit.
44-32? Is that the updated score, the most recent score?
44-32. Yes. So, what have we learned this week? That James Harden and Chris Paul, it's going to be interesting to see if they can make it work the rest of the series. Ryan and I both think the Bucks are going to win the series, and Chayton needs to be a better person. Those are the main takeaways from this series. So now transitioning into something kind of fun. So we have obviously basketball's back. You know, you've got golf. Football is coming back next week. But there's second and third sports, obviously, with baseball and the NHL coming back. There's what kind of is the third sport? Obviously this is a football show mostly. Basketball is definitely second, but Ryan and I kind of fight back and forth on what we go with third. So with the MLB back and hockey back, Ryan, what is your third sport?
Well, to anybody that listened to our first episode, I think they would know. Yeah,
I think they know
how I feel about baseball. Which is, I don't feel about baseball because baseball is...
I don't feel anything.
The least favorite sport of mine. Like, by a large margin, I would say. And
you'd rather
I played
watch
baseball.
Swimming.
I played, yeah, absolutely. Michael Phelps in the water? Definitely. Hands down.
You're like, and I play. So you played baseball. I didn't know this. I thought you just wrestled.
Well, I played like little league baseball.
Oh, okay.
And I had like the worst experience possible. Like, so I was a pitcher. I was throwing a no-hitter. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Throwing a no-hitter.
6-year-old Ryan throwing a no-hitter.
Hit a grand slam. Same game. Hit a grand slam. Right?
You hit a grand slam or you threw a grand slam? I was throwing
a no-hitter and hit a grand slam myself in the same game. Okay.
You probably got all the
game
man.
Got rained out. I'm going to cut that out. I won't cut it out.
You can't.
The game got rained out and rescheduled and postponed. And like we were up like 6-7 to nothing. Like when it got rained out, and what when it was replayed, we fucking lost.
Oh shit! So none of your stats counted?
Well, I mean, it counted. Like we picked up in the same position that we were in. It just like it was postponed from that point forward, and we fucking lost. And so I was like, man, I had this great game, and then just shit hit the fan. So it's just
ass.
now, ever since then, I'm just like, I don't like baseball.
Baseball's been dead
Why
to
would
you.
I?
You ruined your life.
Yeah.
I get it. So
NHL
you were a
for
hockey
me.
guy.
I am much more NHL.
Gotcha. I'm definitely more so MLB, and I think it's just the nostalgia of it. Look, I don't know if you can be an American and not enjoy going to a baseball game in person. And I like that motion you're giving me out. I'll take it all over the face. Listen, there's no better American pastime. You walk into a ballpark, you smell the beer in the air, you eat hot dogs and a beer. It's about $38. Doesn't matter because you're out in the middle of summertime. There's nothing better. So when I'm watching it, it just makes me feel like we're at home. I like the cardboard cutouts too. I gotta say I love them. Whenever you're like watching behind home plate, you see all these people. It's like either famous, it'll be some famous people, it'll be some notable people that you'll kind of see back there all making crazy face. I love it. So I got a little bit of stataroos here. So just to point out. So did you know the NBA viewership is down 4%? However, MLB viewership has actually jumped 28% on average Monday through Friday. Now NHL's also jumped too, but I don't they haven't jumped.
See, here's the thing though. Here's the thing
I can see here
is the same numbers that I'm looking at, right? That say that,
what are you looking at?
That the MLB has been trending down since 2016. When they had 2016, they had about 23 million viewership average. And 23 million.
Oh, well.
And now they're at 13.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Washington Times post. Baseball has seen a surge with ESPN reporting Thursday that the network's MLB viewership has jumped 29% to an average of 1.2 viewers. So that's specifically with like ESPN telecasts. So their viewership has actually jumped. That's where I'm getting this from.
Convenient.
Yeah. Convenient. Yeah. I told you I had some numbers. They may not be right, but I've got some numbers.
Alongside those numbers, the NHL actually has averaged. Now they're not jumping, they're not kind of falling. They've kind of stayed consistently year over year around that 5 to 6 million mark. So
right,
it's tough to say that they're like trending right in the positive direction on that front. But one thing that I thought was interesting is that the NHL actually has 90%. There's 4 teams in the NHL that have less than 90% attendance.
Really?
Yep, 4 teams.
And that's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Hockey fans are nuts, though. They're a different breed. I'll give them that.
And the smaller stadiums, I mean, I get that, but like hockey not being a very popular sport in the United States, for that many teams to have over 90% is huge. And I think it's because here's my reasons, right? Why I like hockey more than I like baseball. It's fast paced. It's quick. There's not a lot of like downtime and like, oh, what's going on? Like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't really have to know what's going on to be able to like
enjoy it.
Yeah, to enjoy what's going on because it's exciting. There's a lot of hits. There's a lot of just like bodies flying, like just shit's happening. Baseball,
I can never see the
shit is
puck
not
in hockey,
happening in baseball. I can't see the ball in baseball.
No, you can't see the ball in baseball.
I mean, from pitch to catch, yes, but like
the ball gets like.
But they focus on the person. They focus on the person, not on the ball, right? So I know where the ball is because I know where the person is. Right? Hockey everybody's just fucking going everywhere. I just turned my mic. Everybody's just fucking going everywhere. So yeah, you can't tell.
I watch hockey, and the whole time I'm watching, and I'm just like, shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Excitement.
You hear I won't even see the goal, but I'll hear, and then they'll be going nuts. And then, no, I mean, like from that, look, I'm not saying that I don't like hockey. Trust me, especially playoff hockey. Wow. I love me some intense playoff baseball too.
Dude, Nashville.
Ain't nothing better.
Nashville, when the Stanley Cup finals were here, bro.
Oh, it was wild.
It was fucking stupid.
they were saying that year that the Stanley Cup was there, they had the best home ice advantage of all teams.
I think that factors into like being in Nashville and like being around that atmosphere. Because like when I lived in Columbus, the Blue Jackets were god awful.
Terrible.
Granted, they're good.
They used
now,
to give tickets for like $5.
Yeah,
whenever we were in school.
We got them for free. What are you talking about? Like at least a couple of them. But I think moving here and like being in that atmosphere like definitely helped. But to me, it's like everybody looks at baseball as like, oh, it's the pastime and blah, 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 there's so much tradition, but they don't innovate, they don't change. It's like everybody relies so much on this. Oh, it's the pastime, and we've got to keep it the integrity and keep it the same way, even though everybody's fucking cheating. But you know, baseball is above that. We're all above that. So I don't know. They don't do anything to like adapt to a differing viewership, and that's why like all of their average fans are in their 50s. Like for real,
leave us
like,
alone.
All of their average fans are in their 50 plus. Like they're not doing anything to try and like gain new viewership. So once all of them die, then what do? Like they just
replace them.
They just have a shitload of money. That's what baseball has. It's just a shitload of money to be able to just like as much money as they have. You would think they would innovate more than what they do. They should innovate more.
Look, you leave me.
Just a bunch of old white dudes.
Look, you leave me alone with my New Balances. I'm gonna replace them. You leave me alone. Oh shit! Jesus. All right, buddy, bring us home.
All right, so 85 yards. For those of you who are unaware and didn't catch the numerous plugs earlier in this podcast, but 85 yards is presented to you as part of the Buckeye Scoop Podcast Network, releasing prime Ohio State news and information week over week. It's an amazing collection of some of the best insiders in the game coming together to bring you the most up-to-date information possible. So check them out. It's buckeyescoop.com or search Buckeye Scoop wherever you listen to podcasts. And lastly, Cousin Bougie, for those of you, again, who didn't listen to last week's episode, the artwork for 85 Yards is presented to you by our dear friends and artists at Cousin Bougie. Leaders in design and apparel, Cousin Bougie provides a unique and inspiring view on the world we live in. Check out their work at cousinbougie.com. That's cousinbougie.com. Again, cousinboujee.com. I didn't want to spell it twice, so I didn't spell it twice because that's a lot of letters.
A lot of letters. Good stuff, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
Indeed. Thanks again for listening, everybody, to 85 Yards. If you've liked what you've heard, be sure to like, rate, download, and subscribe to 85 Yards for news and updates on all future content available wherever you listen to podcasts. I am Ryan Boobs Quincy.
I'm Chayton Booty 9. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, my good friend.
Cheers, buddy.